Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now celebrating 17 years of broadcasting success, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, both for our radio audience tuning in the South and Mississippi on WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com. We welcome you all to our program. All those tuning in online worldwide, thanks to our friends at iHeartRadio, we're glad you all could be with us as well. We've been talking a lot about how individuals have been able to make a difference this year in spite of the challenges that we all have been facing. It also goes for our education system as well, namely the school that we're going to be profiling today. Piney Woods School is a school in Mississippi that I've had an opportunity to speak at a couple times in the past few years. They're one of America's oldest independent historically black boarding schools, and this year they set out with a big goal to be able to help low-income students with future scholarships and tuition. Here to talk to us about that, we're excited to welcome Piney Woods School President Will Crossley. I also have a very special co-host for this segment, my good friend and also a social advocate, Pauline Rogers. Pauline is also a former student of Piney Woods. Pauline, thank you so much for co-hosting the segment with me. Really appreciate it.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
And we're excited to welcome Dr. Crossley to our program as well. Dr. Crossley, thank you so much for taking out a few moments with us. Really appreciate the time.
Oh, thank you. We're excited to be with you.
Well, I'm going to be speaking with you more about the school and the scholarship and what you all were able to do this year, raising over $300,000 already. But I'm going to turn it over to Pauline first, who I mentioned is a former student of Piney Woods School. She was there from 1973 to 1976. Pauline, you have a couple of questions for Dr. Crossley?
Yes. Good morning, Dr. Crossley. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. How are you? It's good to hear your voice. It's been about a year since I've seen you. I believe it was our Founders Celebration last year.
Absolutely. And, of course, Piney Woods is one of my favorite schools where I went to school at, and I'm just thankful about the report that I hear about the finances. But, you know, all of us have been challenged here during COVID. So what's been the biggest challenge for you as a college president and dealing with students who are from everywhere? What's been the biggest challenge?
Yeah, so, we had to make the decision to move forward, and that was the big decision as to how would we do that. Because as you noted, our students come from all over the state of Mississippi and all over the country, and even other parts of the world. And so when your student population is that, widespread, it can be difficult just getting everyone here. And once we made the decision to go forward, we were able to put in some processes and protocols that will allow us to be safe. And we've had a successful onboarding of students this year. We're excited for what is ahead.
So are you doing classes, or are you having in-person classes, or a combination of both?
We are. I'm glad you asked. We are having in-person classes, but we're doing a little bit of distant or remote teaching. And so what we did was we tried to be responsive. We had some of our faculty members who were in the high-risk category and not wanting them to be subject to COVID and to get ill. We actually do have some faculty members who are zooming in to the campus where our students are. But we invited the students back here to campus, and many of our faculty members are here on the campus. Working with our young people. One thing that's really interesting and kind of exciting for us is you may have heard about the NBA bubble when they were all down in Florida, and our campus is set up kind of like that, where we have one point of ingress and egress, so we can kind of control who comes in and out. And so we were able to test our entire community here. Everyone has been negative for COVID-19, and so we've been able to really keep the space safe and healthy for our young people, as well as for our faculty and staff.
That is awesome. Well, you kind of answered, not kind of, you did answer. The question was going to be, what was the biggest challenge and what was your response to that? So you've already done that. And for a campus such as Piney Woods, I'm familiar with a lot of the processes from when I was a school there. Of course, a lot has changed over the many, many years, but
right.
You have responded and responded well in providing the education and keeping the faculty and the scholars safe. So outside of your fundraising that you got going on, what would be the biggest thing that you would like to see happen from the community in terms of this COVID and this new normal that we're in?
Yeah, so, I think that, it's a difficult time for us because, we're all used to coming together, but if you've got kind of a safe haven space like we have here at the school, then it's a little bit easier for us on campus. We've had a tougher time in terms of going out and taking students on trips or to visit things because of concerns around COVID. And so I think what we've got to do is use the technology that's at our disposal and use that so that we stay in touch, so that we keep in touch with folks. And we, here all of our students get a device, a Chromebook when they come in. And so there are opportunities for us to connect with community. And so we want to make sure we can continue to do that. And so hopefully folks will be hearing from us about ways that they may be able to Zoom in and, speak life into our young people, even if that's, just through video camera and things of that nature. So we want to, I think, stay connected to one another as a community in the midst of our physical separation is going to be what's really, really important for us here and really for this entire local community.
Okay. Well, I will ask one last question, then I'll hand it back to Cyrus. What are you doing to compensate for the mental health that has challenges of the students in that age population who would be out doing shopping sprees or whatever other social activities? How are you keeping them solid mentally in lieu of the absence of all of the extracurricular activities?
Yeah, so that's an amazing question. I'm really excited you asked it. In some ways, our campus itself offers not an official or certified kind of therapy, but it does offer kind of the safe haven. And I'm sure everyone listening is aware of or seen the racial strife that's been present in our country. And I've thought about the impact that's had on us as adults, right, particularly in the African American community. And I thought also about what impact is that having on our children when they're seeing, people, who are literally dying in the street. And so to have a place that is affirming to our young people, that's uplifting to them, and that's consistently trying to speak life into them, I think that's point number one. That's what we try to do here on this campus. Every single day. This morning, about an hour ago, I was in our morning devotion with our young people, and every single day we speak empowerment into them. But secondly, we are using our space. Our campus stretches some nearly 2,000 acres, and so we're using that space for our young people. They're doing service and work on our farm, and we just started a horse program. And so actually this Saturday we'll have another session. Our students are caring for some horses, and so I think getting out. Some of these students, if they came from a big city, they've been stuck in an apartment, or they've been stuck in their home or in their bedroom for 6 or 7 months before coming here. So I think getting out and being able to care for others or care for some of the animals that we have on our farm, et cetera, that's a kind of therapeutic, release for some of our students. And so we're continuing a lot of those kinds of things. On this coming Saturday, we're having a harvest festival. here for our students, and we're going to have all kinds of games and things happening down on our farm and here on the campus. So it's a really good time. We've got the space to do it, and our students are certainly ready for it, and so we're happy that we can serve them in that way.
That's awesome. I knew that was happening. I just wanted the public and the world to hear that was happening in the 70s when I was a student, and I knew that it was happening even more so every day and even in this COVID pandemic. And just thank you, Dr. Crossley, for the wonderful work that you're doing for staff, faculty, and the scholars. And enjoyed talking to you. Hope to see you soon, maybe virtually. And so I'll pass it back over to Cyrus.
Well, thank you. Pauline, it's really good to hear your voice, and glad you're able to join us and be a part. Thank you for all of your service and support that you give in the Piney Woods.
Pauline, great questions. And Dr. Crossley, thank you so much for the time. I want to say for those who are just tuning in, is on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. We're really excited by our guests that we're welcoming to our program today. We have Piney Woods School President Will Crossley joining us. My co-host is Pauline Rogers. She's joining us. She just handled the first part of our conversation with Dr. Crossley. Being a former student of Piney Woods herself from 1973 to 1976, I want to pick up on the partnership aspect, Dr. Crossley. Pauline, and I'm so glad she brought up about what you all are doing for the students you have, but you are already looking to be able to bring more students into the fold when it comes to Piney Woods School. The Woodson Center has been instrumental in helping with that. I mentioned you all had the virtual fundraiser, raising over $300,000 already through that in just one day. What has that been like for you, Dr. Crossley, to see the support of the community as well as other organizations to what you're doing there?
Well, I tell you, it's been amazing. The effort that we put forward, it really exceeded our initial expectation, and so we started out with an initial goal of raising $250,000 with some partners through the Woodson Center that were going to match that $250,000, and that quickly rose. Actually to $500,000, and you mentioned we raised that $300,000 the day of the fundraiser, but our current raise so far is over $540,000, and wow. every dollar raised we will use for scholarships for young people to be able to come and be a part. We want to grow our school, but because of our structure and how we're set up, we've got to be able to fund the education for the young people we serve. So being able to get some dollars in the door where we can invite more young people to take part, it's a really, really exciting time for us.
You were quoted, Dr. Crossley, in an article by APT.com as they were talking about the fundraiser. You're quoted as saying, "We firmly believe that students, even those of limited financial means, can do extraordinary things consistent with the opportunities that we make available to them." So that seems to be a very big part of the commitment. As I mentioned, you already have the students that you talked to Pauline there about. You're looking to expand that, I think, to another 200 students. Is that right? Talk to us about what you're doing to be able to help with that outreach.
Yeah, so our goal. This has really been our goal since we ever been in existence. Has been to provide a high quality, experiential learning opportunity for students, regardless of the zip code in which they were born into, their race, their parents' income. That deserving students would have as much opportunity as anyone else, and so that's what we try to do. That's what we try to do every single day. We want people to check us out and see what we're pursuing. Our young people are engaged in this process with us, and so. I have, for example, on the campus here, I have a digital media team, which is made up of me, one adult, and 6 students. And the students are involved with helping us figure out how do we connect to others through social media, right? How do we connect better through Facebook or Instagram or Twitter and all of those things. And so our students really, like Ms. Rogers, our students are the best example of how we can reach out to others and let them know, the quality of the product that comes from Piney Woods School.
So what a great thing for us to be able to remember. And even though you have done so well this year with your virtual fundraiser, definitely that means the audience can still get involved. So, Dr. Crossley, I guess an obvious question would be, how can those listen to our program, both on the radio dial in Mississippi and our online audience joining us around the world, how can they be a part of the work you're doing there at Piney Woods to be able to contribute?
Yeah, so, yes, this particular fundraiser has done well. But, frankly, we have to raise money every single year in order to support our young people. And so we're asking people if they would help us do that. And they can do so on our website at pineywoods.org. There's a Donate Now button, and you just click that button and you can make a gift. This most recent fundraiser was really sparked by a matching offer, dollar for dollar, that we were able to do, and so we're still taking gifts from that. But what I want people to know is that what they're contributing to is they're really fueling the education for students and families who wouldn't otherwise be able to afford a boarding school education. And so what we're establishing here, what we've established here for a long time, it's really a model and a demonstration for what we believe schools should be doing when it comes to learning. And so we'd ask people to help us so that we can invest in these young people. Our goal is for us to help them improve their lives, give them the tools to do that, and then watch them as they make an impact on the lives of others in their community. So www.pineywoods.org is the place to go and the place to where they can sow a seed into our young people.
Definitely invite our audience to do that. Pineywoods.org. We'll be linking that up for our online audience. Again, everyone, Piney Woods School President Dr. Will Crossley has been our guest. Dr. Crossley, really do appreciate you taking out the time. I know it's a crazy busy time for you, but we really appreciate this. And it goes without saying, you're welcome back here anytime. Looking forward to having you on the program again.
Thank you so much. It's so good to be with you.
Oh, the pleasure is definitely all mine. And we thank you, our audience, for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. And Pauline, I appreciate you being our co-host today. Really great questions with Dr. Crossley with that personal connection there. And Pauline, it goes without saying, looking forward to you co-hosting with us again soon.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
Oh, the pleasure is definitely all mine.
Dr. Crossley.
And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Let's make it a great one.